All right, so this is not an unboxing video, but I have a point to make. I backed this book, Tiger Blue by Matt Fowler, and I already got it, and I did an unboxing video on it. And then today, here it is again. And I think, wait, did I back this twice? I don't remember backing it twice. That seems unlike me. But this package was different, and it's essentially really what I want to talk about. So this showed up in it. What we're looking at is a Game Boy case. When you bought a new Game Boy game back in the day, this is what it came in. On the back here, there's even like a scene potentially from what it would look like, a little bit about it, how to play it, so on and so forth. And if you open it up, there is a Game Boy cartridge in here. So awesome. And it has Tiger Blue on it, so totally looks like a game that you would have played. I think they called this the 80s package is what it said on it. Now you'll see there's no actual game in it. There's no like chip in here for it to work. Can you hear stuff making popcorn in the background? We're gonna have some popcorn. But this reminded me of another one that I got. I may have done an unboxing video on this cartridge here for an NES game, Aranth. Again, it's not an actual game. It's just a matter of like, here's some, collectability. Here's something for you to consider. Now it's been actually pretty frequently that Peter will say, "Hey guys, it's not just about the comic books. Like, comic books are fine and all, but you need to, if you want to make money on your comics, you have to make something else. Like, it's about growing the IP and making people care about the characters." That is easier said than done, I'll tell you that. But I've been thinking about this a lot in that, hey, comics are essentially the root of the character, but what else is there? And I've done standees. Here's one again from Aaron. Standee, pretty cool. I haven't even put this one together yet. But I got thinking about it, and to me, what becomes important, possibly, is something like a game. And these are just, in theory, like, hey, it would be cool if there was a game for this. It'd be cool if there was a game for this. Making a video game is kind of insane. But one of the reasons why I got into comics was actually because of HeroClix. This game, when I first saw it, I remember thinking, holy cow, what a genius game. Like, there's just so much to it. You can change their abilities and everything. Notice that this is a she character I've had for years, before I ever met Billy Tucci, so it's pretty cool that it comes full circle. And shooting with Billy Tucci several times, cool guy. And yeah, here I've got a she HeroClix. So I didn't actually read she comics back in the day when most people did. I actually learned about she through HeroClix. This was one of my all-time favorite ones. I just loved Rhino. It looked so great, but I thought to merchandise a game, to build upon that IP, it only makes sense to me that there's something else. And I think when I narrow it down, it's not Pogs, that's not it, but I think it either has to be a trading card game that you can get into. I mean, that would be the most accessible way, or something like this, if not this exactly. WizKids, how do I get this happening? I think that this would actually be fairly obtainable to do. It wouldn't be as difficult as it might seem. The more I look into it, making 3D models is easier than it's ever been because of 3D printing and 3D modeling. Geez, I can't even stand it up. And then obviously there's some game design. Trading card games, again, that's something that's doable. It definitely take a lot of time to test it and everything, but I feel like there's more to it. One other thing here I'll show you is this is a action figure. I'm drawing a blank. Silver Streak, and this came from David Furr when I wrote the Silver Streak story for him and that book. And he sent this along to me. Pretty cool. I saw images on Twitter of DC Comics putting out books that were in plastic, almost just like this. So imagine a comic book in the background, and then they had a little action figure, not this big. It was like that big, half the size about of that, and it was just small, but it would introduce kids into here's a comic book, and here is a character or action figure that goes with it. And I actually showed that to my son, and I said, "Hey, would you?" Because he's been really into Batman. Like he's devoured all the graphic novels that I had of Batman. And I said, "Would you want this? Like, is it a selling point? Do you want it more because there's an action figure, or is just the comic fine? Like, you're good with that?" And he said he would want the one with the action figure. So that's interesting. Anyway, my point is, I think when I really think about it, the reason why we are in love with the characters that we are is because we can, experience them multiple ways. Ninja Turtles is one. I love the Ninja Turtles. I grew up loving the Ninja Turtles. But yes, there was a comic book series, and I did have a couple Ninja Turtle comic books, but I didn't really get into the comics until I was much older. I was into the video games in a big way, and I was into the cartoon series in a big way. And I loved Ninja Turtles because of that. And because I got to know the characters, then buying, action figures or merchandise that has no actual personality, it becomes a lot more simple or interesting because I can relate. A game is, I think, the same way in that you can get used to. I remember Winter Soldier being a character I liked just because of his hero click. Like it was fun to use. It was a good piece. I liked it. Therefore, I automatically like Winter Soldier a little bit more than I would otherwise, even though I can't make it focus. I didn't read any Winter Soldier comics until later, like after I already liked Winter Soldier from the game because the characteristics from the game. Uh, anyway, I'm curious. This is, I guess, what my poll would be: is if your favorite indie comics, and I'm going to just specifically say Alterna Comics because I'm plugged in with those guys. But I mean, you could expand this and you could expand it any way you want. But if Alterna Comics, for instance, did something like this and there were sets that you could use and play with hero clicks, but they were, specifically designed for alternate characters, would that be something you'd be interested in? Downcast characters, fatal characters, something like that? Or would a trading card game, like an actual playable trading card game that has been tested and, people are very good at making games are in on making it and treating it with respect and trying to make it something awesome in and of itself. Are one of those appealing at all? That's my question. I like to think for me, I think it is. Like, not as a creator, I'm saying as somebody that's buying stuff. Games are cool. Video games are cool. I love the idea of doing video games. Unfortunately, there's no video game here to play. It's just an idea. It's a concept. It's a hope. It's nostalgia that we wish we could tap into and actually use. And these are so cool. I love them. But I'm just curious. Can we build something more when it comes to building IP? Now, I get it gets more and more expensive, but I think it's something interesting to consider. And I think, again, board game, card game is probably the easiest next step up. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm curious how you develop IP beyond the comic book. And yeah, don't forget to check out Dracula. Back it. It's in the link in the description below. Fatal's made some good progress. I've got an update coming out pretty soon I'm excited about. And I'll see you in the next video.